Good afternoon, everybody. I didn't mean to look scared. I'm sorry. Good afternoon, everybody, from the third largest city in the United States, Chicago, Illinois. This is The Drive with Mario Smith. I'm Mario Smith. You're watching Backchannel.tv. And thank you so much for being here today. We appreciate your patronage. Thanks again to my pal Hal, your pal Hal, our pal Hal, for his wonderful show and all that it entails. And joining me from Los Angeles, California, not Gliss. It's Travis. What's up, Travis? Welcome to the drive, my friend.
Hey, good to be here. I was just vibing to your intro video. That is,
Yeah,
you
right.
guys have some production value.
We
That's
got. They spent a little money. No, no, they didn't spend any money. They didn't spend any money. Hey, man, it's good that you're here. You're here for Jay Gliss, who is on a boat, and I can tell because his texts have been very spread out in terms of talking to me today. Um, he sent me some really cool footage of Eric Gales, who
oh,
performed on his cruise that he's on with his dad. It's Deep Purple, Eric Gales, like eight Jefferson Starship, maybe Airplane, like
whoa.
it's one of those rock and roll cruises. So he's having a great time, and he has earned the time off. But I'm glad you're here, man, and you're out in sunny Los Angeles. And as I
hmm
was asking you before, you said it's no longer a trillion degrees. It's now what, 60?
No, yeah, it's calmed all the way down to 60. This morning, I'll tell you what. Not that it's gotten any less crazy. I walked out of my house this morning into my backyard, and the sun was out, and it was raining. And I
Wow.
didn't. Yeah, I thought I was still asleep. I thought I might have been dreaming, but it was one of those real fun. You got half the sky and overcast clouds, half the sky the sun's breaking through, and I'm standing in rays of sun, and I am being rained on.
Wow.
I don't know what to make of it.
Man, it's a that's a well, depending on where you're from, some people will say that there's a old wives' tale, folk tale. The devil is beating his wife when the sun is out and it's raining.
Really? I'd never heard that before.
Really? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. The devil is beating his wife. Is
Huh.
the tale? Didn't know the devil was married.
No.
I know plenty of women that qualify to be married to the devil. See already. The show ain't even 10 minutes old, and I've stuck my foot all the way in it.
Oh, no, we're good.
Yeah, well, I'll try to recover. Look, I appreciate you doing this for Gliss, and I see your work on the other shows and stuff, and what you do with Hal is outstanding. Hal's my guy.
Thank you.
I'm looking forward to. I was thinking about this morning. It'll be really fun when we have a big company outing and everybody can
Yeah.
actually like see each other up close. I'm looking forward to that. Plus,
Yeah, that'd be great.
nobody offers to fly me anywhere, so this will be great.
Yeah, come on to LA, we'll party. Yeah, it'd
Putting
be nice to see what
everybody on the spot.
everyone's, I don't know, legs look like. So far, everybody I know is just here
Yeah.
up.
Thank God. No. I'm fat today because I was working earlier, but I actually have legs.
Oh, right on, right on.
Yeah. I had to do some what I hate, physical labor, but you
What were
know.
you? Was it stuff around the house, maintenance
No,
stuff?
no, no. I actually I have a job at a music venue right down the street here in Hyde Park in Chicago.
Oh, right
And
on.
they were setting up for a commercial today or something like that. And I
Oh,
had to clear out a room, clear out the music venue part. There's a
oh,
big tribute tonight to Jay Dilla, which I'll be heading to right after this is over.
ooh, I'm jealous.
Man, I love Jay Dilla so much, and I have a terrestrial radio show. I've been trying to get his mom on my show, My Dukes, for a minute. Still
Oh,
working on that, but yeah, Jay Dilla and all his work and everything is celebrated tonight here in Chicago at the Promontory in Hyde Park.
damn.
So if you're a Chicago watcher, you should fall through. You know where the Promontory is. I'm not going to give you the address. All right, we got to do headlines and stuff. And don't worry, everybody, we will get a chance to talk to Travis all damn show because I can't do this by myself. And I can't wait till tomorrow because Rob's going to be producing.
Oh,
Yeah, they got the heavyweight. Man, I'm like, do I need to put on a suit? Should I dress up? Am I in trouble? You know.
no, 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 it's fine. I had the pleasure of actually producing for Rob a couple weeks ago,
Oh
and
wow,
yeah,
he's the
he's
man.
He's the main man.
He's the man.
But he puts on his pants we don't see one leg at a time like the rest of us.
if he
If he got legs.
if he has legs.
Yeah.
As we certainly hope he does have legs. All our friends that are joining us today on the stream, all our passengers here at Back Channel and watching on YouTube and on listening on your Amazon supported devices. Thank you all for being here. Gene and Curtis and Stephen and Boney and Brian, it's your first time. We thank you. Andrea, how you doing? And our regulars, Amanda, Deborah, Verona, Sunny, Andrea, I said that already, Bella, Amelia, Dale, Nash, Nathan, and sometimes C in Texas, J-Lo in New York. Travis is Jennifer Lopez. I know you saw that and was like, is that really Jennifer Lopez? It's Jennifer Lopez.
Wow.
Now, it's not the same Jennifer Lopez, but it's better because this Jennifer Lopez actually talks back to us. So it's fun. Cole in South Carolina. And Brian, your first time on the stream here in New Jersey. Welcome all of you to the program. Let's run through some headlines real quick, and then we will step out, and then we'll come back, and we'll do this all day until it's over. Oh, the thing I almost forgot. You can start your day with backchannel.tv at 6 a.m. Eastern time with Haley and Allison, and then at 8 a.m. Eastern with my buddy Liv Harrison. Then our good buddies Jam and Renee from 10 to 12 Eastern. Sir Anthony Davis at noon, and your pal Hal, my pal Hal, our pal Hal at 2 p.m. Eastern time, and then it's us and whatever this is that we're doing. And here's some headlines at the top of the hour. Sandy Hook family settled for $73 million with gunmaker Remington. The families of 9 victims of the Sandy Hook Elementary School shooting have agreed to a $73 million settlement of a lawsuit against the maker of the rifle used to kill 20 first graders and 6 educators in 2012, their attorney said today. The case was watched closely by gun control advocates, gun rights supporters, and manufacturers because of its potential to provide a roadmap for victims of other shootings to sue the makers of firearms. In Canada, Ottawa's police chief resigned today amid criticism of his inaction against the trucker protests that have paralyzed Canada's capital for over 2 weeks, while demonstrators elsewhere across the country abandoned another one of their blockades at the U.S. border. Trucks with horns blaring rolled out of the southern Alberta town of Coops across from Montana, ending the siege that had disrupted trade for more than 2 weeks. Police earlier this week arrested 11 people at the obstructed crossing and seized guns and ammunition. And finally, America's coastline will see sea levels rise in the next 30 years by as much as they did in the entire 20th century, with major eastern cities hit regularly with costly floods, even on sunny days, a government report warns. And those are the headlines at the top of the hour. When we come back, we will have something special. It's called Around the World, and we'll do our thing. Travis is with us in Los Angeles. You guys are with us all around the United States, and we appreciate it. You're watching The Drive on Backchannel.tv. We'll be back in just a moment. Hey everybody, welcome back to The Drive on Welcome back to The Drive on Backchannel.tv. I'm Mario Smith here in Chicago, Illinois. We appreciate your patronage today. Passengers, we've got a lot to talk about all over this bad boy. Things are happening all around the world. We're going to try to take some time to address some of those things and to talk to you as well. I keep threatening you guys with a real good chat question. And hey, Diane, it's your first time on the show. And what's up, Tay? What's happening, brother? Diane, welcome. Much appreciated. It's always cool to see that name, Diane. I have a question for the room, and this has nothing to do with anything that we're going to talk about today. What brought you to Backchannel.tv? How'd you get here? I'm very curious to hear that. You can join the chat on Backchannel.tv. You can even leave a review of the show at Backchannel.tv. If you're on YouTube watching us, you can leave your answer there. What got you? How did you get here? And you keep coming back. I appreciate that. But how did you get to Backchannel.tv? I want to know. I'm nosy. That's my job today, to learn things. Again, no shortage of things to talk about. And it kind of starts with what's happening away from the United States in the Ukraine. Uh, Today, President Joe Biden acknowledged the likelihood that U.S. and allied sanctions on Russia in retaliation for an invasion of Ukraine would have significant blowback on the American economy, including possible price hikes and disruption to the nation's energy supply. Quote, the American people understand that defending democracy and liberty is never without cost, Biden said in remarks at the White House about the ongoing crisis. I will not pretend this will be painless. He said the administration was working proactively to try to preempt supply issues by working with energy producers and shippers on contingency plans, and said he would work with Congress on unspecified additional measures to protect consumers and address the impact of prices at the pump. Biden also said today that the U.S. has not yet verified Russia's claim that some of its forces have withdrawn from the Ukraine border. He said an invasion of Ukraine remains a distinct possibility. Biden spoke hours after Russia announced that some units participating in military exercises near Ukraine's borders would begin returning to their bases. Russian President Vladimir Putin earlier today said Russia was ready for talks with the United States and NATO on military transparency, missile deployment limits, and other security issues. But Biden continued to express skepticism about Russia's intentions. Biden warned again that if Russia invades Ukraine, the U.S. will rally the world to oppose its aggression. So, wait a second. If you're if Travis help, if you're going if you're going to impose sanctions on on Russia for potentially invading the Ukraine, and if you do that, this country, the world, has been in a 2-year hold for everything. Just starting to see the pandemic kind of tamp down. Not gone by any means, but tamp down. And are you to say to people who, family of four, family of five, who has to drive around the United States or driving around in their city, that their gas prices are now going to go up? I think there has to be a diplomatic solution to this issue. If there's not a diplomatic solution to this issue, your gas prices are going to go up even higher than they are now. I have no idea. How much is gas in Los Angeles, Travis?
Sorry, I
For
had to
like
take a moment to collect myself with that question. We are currently sitting between $4 and $5.50 an hour, depending on what neighborhood you live in.
for gasoline for a car?
Yeah, for a car. Yeah, yeah.
I thought that might have been for a plane. five
Me
dollars a
too.
gallon for
Yeah,
gas.
yeah.
So it's somewhere
My
around like 3.94 something here in Chicago.
oof.
And I'm sure it's higher than that. I don't drive anymore, so I don't know. I don't know. Oh no, the driving's over. Just it costs too much. I can ride a
Yeah.
bike where I gotta go. And it's
Is
healthier.
is Chicago pretty accessible? I mean, Los Angeles is like, several satellites just spread out. So
Yeah.
you pretty much either walk your neighborhood or you got to get in your car and drive forever. Is Chicago? I know you guys have a pretty robust public transit system. Is it easy to
Yes.
get where you need to go for the
Wherever
most
you
part?
want to go here, you can go. If you're trying to go to
Wow.
any part of Chicago, almost 24 hours a day. There was a day not too long ago in our city's history, at any time, day or night, you could go anywhere in Chicago. There would be a
Wow.
bus or a train running. It's kind of not the same anymore. I mean, they've scaled back the schedules and all that. But for the most part, if you're trying to get somewhere, you can.
Ugh.
And there's a gas station everywhere. There are as many gas stations as there are McDonald's in Chicago, I think. So it's
Whoa.
like, yeah, it's a lot. But the idea that the sanctions that they would impose, because people are under the impression that this means war. Here we go, war. It's not war first. It's sanctions first always, because you try to cripple the economy of your adversary so that they go, okay, yo, I'll stop. If they put sanctions on Russia and it affects what's happening in the United States, and even if I mean, I can see that being a political uh, death trap for Joe Biden.
Hmm.
He's not really the most popular president in the world as it is.
No, he has been having some real struggles. The honeymoon phase of we have somebody in office that we all, feel comfortable in terms of their day-to-day faculties has worn off,
Yeah,
and
very much so.
eesh,
Very
it
much so.
seems he's fighting bear after bear in terms of
I see
public
what you did
opinion.
there. I see what you did there with the bear. Look at you. But yeah, at some point the conversation has to shift to President Biden. We just are starting to get out of a major world event with the pandemic.
Yeah,
Can you please start to concentrate on getting people back here first? Like this whole issue on the Canadian border, like, dude, it's happening right not too far from DC. And you're
yeah,
really concentrating on this war that you keep saying is going to happen. That hasn't happened yet. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. And I'm not being anti patriotic, nor am I being any of those other things. I just think that it would be in his best interest to pay attention to what is happening on the soil in which we're on, because right now we're in a bit of a thing. This is
yeah,
bad. This is
yeah.
bad. And speaking of bad, his predecessor, Donald Trump, Trump Organization's accounting firm said that it no longer vouches for his financial statements from the company. And this is mind blowing to me. It's not funny. Why am I laughing? It's mind blowing to me that this man's accounting is wrong. Who saw that coming? He's only been sued for bankruptcy 65 billion times. The accounting firm Mazars USA said a decade's worth of financial statements from the Trump Organization can no longer be viewed as reliable. How do you do that? How do you get your financial company to give the U.S. a letter like, "Hey, don't listen to him. He's lying," as if we didn't know. According to a letter made public Monday by New York Attorney General Letitia James as part of her civil probe into the former president's company. Mazars also said it will no longer work with the Trump Organization, meaning the company may have to get new financial statements that could complicate its ability to secure loans. In a February, see, this is unprofessional as hell, but this is hilarious to me. In a February 9 letter from Mazars Group, General Counsel William J. Kelly to Trump Organization Chief Legal Officer Alan Garton, the auditing firm said its work from 2011 to 2020 should not be relied upon. Quote, we write to advise that the statements of financial condition for Donald J. Trump for the years ending June 30th, 2011 to June 30th, 2020 should no longer be relied upon, and you should inform any recipients thereof who are currently relying upon one or more of those documents that those documents should not be relied upon, Kelly wrote in a letter released Monday by James. Kelly said this conclusion, based in part upon the filings made by James's office and our own investigation and information received from internal and external sources. That's like saying to somebody, "Hey, look, Johnny cannot be trusted with money, so stop giving him money because Johnny is not trustworthy." And we have reason to believe that all of Johnny's numbers from the time you were 7 years old to today are all invalid and backwards. So you should leave Johnny the hell alone if you don't want Johnny to take you for your money too. And this runs up with the fact that people, some may be watching the show, have been giving him money since he lost the presidency, which is the reason why he'll never declare that he's running for anything, because then he has to take all that money and it becomes campaign contributions, and he'll never do that. That being said, his influence is still pretty formidable, but I just think that that's hilarious. That's funny to me. Maybe it's not funny, but it's funny. I think it's funny. April's joined the stream as well. Hey, April, how you doing? I I find it funny. Um, hey, Travis, whatever you do, you're on the. You don't click on this thing here. By the way, I have to do this out loud.
What thing?
It
Where?
where it says vum.ngo.
Oh,
Yeah, don't click on that. I could
you
have
guys
gave
get
that to
those
you.
too?
Yeah, a lot of them. I'm scared. I have my theory of who it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Somebody
Ooh.
trying to infiltrate the Backchannel.tv empire.
Ooh. This one, and it's getting more bold by the day. We have a queen
Mm-hmm.
in the
Yeah.
commenting section now, trying to. Mm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Just a little, I didn't mean to scare you or interrupt. I
No,
know
I'm
you're.
I'm I'm familiar. I'm just, for the listeners at home, this is part of the back channel lore. This is what we deal with behind the scenes,
That's right.
unknown, uneasy comments in a language nobody understands.
Some the first one I saw, I think his name was Vlim Glib or something. And I was like, what the heck is that? Vlim Glib? That's not a real person. What's Vlim Glib? What country are they in?
I can't
Yeah.
find them on LinkedIn.
I can't Google Vlim Glib. But he was there. He was there, buddy. He was there to wreak havoc upon our humble show. And I stopped it. I didn't single handedly stop it, but I was like, "Yo, Bliss, we gotta. This isn't right. Don't click on it." And then
Yeah.
one of our passengers did say that if you do click on it, um, you have it goes to a site that's not safe for work.
This?
Yeah.
Interesting. I don't know.
Okay. Tay is just saying that the site is blocked because it's a known security threat.
Interesting.
How about that?
Ooh.
Yeah, gotta be careful, man. See that the popularity of Backchannel.tv is growing, and they
Yeah,
know.
people trying to take advantage.
That's right. I don't know what they're gonna get from me. I work for Backchannel.tv, buddy. I'm not rich. But I'm here every day. The more things for Robert to talk to me about tomorrow. Like, hey, I heard what you said about being rich. What's that all about? How does that work? Okay. A tech exec used access to White House computers to look for dirt on Donald Trump. No. Former President Trump and his allies said the disclosure was proof that Trump was under surveillance while he was in office. A tech executive exploited his access to computer data at the Trump White House to find derogatory information about President Donald Trump, a special counsel appointed during the Trump administration said in a court filing Friday. John Durham, appointed by then Attorney General William Barr in 2020 to probe the origins of the FBI's investigation of Russian election interference, said Tech Executive One, not named in the filing but first identified by the New York Times as Rodney Jaffe, used his access to domain name system or DNS data to compile information about which computers and servers the White House servers were communicating with. Trump and his allies said the disclosure was proof that Trump was under surveillance while he was in office. Quote, it's from the most, oh, Jim Jordan and I don't get along. Trump and his allies said the disclosure was proof that Trump was under surveillance while he was in office. Quote, they were spying on the sitting president of the United States, close quote. Representative Jim Jordan, Republican from Ohio, told Fox News on Sunday, and it goes right to the Clinton campaign. In a statement Monday, Trump said the alleged spying was the biggest story of our time, bigger than Watergate. The biggest story of our time is the January 6th insurrection. You bozos. What are you talking about? What are we doing now? What are we doing? This is nothing compared to what happened on January the 6th. Is it? I can't think of anything that's happened in my lifetime outside of 9/11 that is bigger than what happened on January the 6th on a national scale. Nothing. Nothing. I don't even read the rest of the story. Nothing. This is you know what? Nothing. Seeing people in the Capitol trying to kill people with the intention of putting pins on a car, that's bigger than anything that's ever happened here. Stupid surveillance on the president. He should have been under surveillance, don't you think? People forget what happened. It didn't happen that long ago. You know what I'm saying? This wasn't 30 years ago that Trump was around. He was just here. More Trump news because I can't get enough. Trump versus McConnell. There's your UFC fight you've been waiting for, America. The Russian threat to Ukraine has Washington on edge. No one wants the heightened tensions in Eastern Europe to escalate into war, but there's at least one prominent Republican in the Capitol now complaining that the media spotlight has shifted overseas. Last week, Mitch McConnell, the seven-term Republican senator from Kentucky, who has been his party's leader in the Senate for the past 15 years, found himself locked in a high-profile confrontation with the former president, who insists he's still the party's leader. It was not the first round of this long-running bout, but it was perhaps the most clarifying and the most consequential for the elections this fall and in 2024. McConnell had felt compelled to respond when the Republican National Committee censured two Republican members of the House for serving on the special committee investigating the January 6th riot at the Capitol. The RNC had characterized the events on January 6th as ordinary citizens engaged in legitimate political discourse. McConnell would have none of that. Unlike the members of the RNC, he actually witnessed what happened in the Capitol on that day, and he has always been clear about what he saw and what it meant. Quote, and I won't do a McConnell impersonation, but you can imagine what it sounds like. It was a violent insurrection for the purposes of trying to prevent the peaceful transfer of power after a legitimately certified election from one administration to the next, McConnell said last week. That was no more than most of his party's colleagues in the Senate or among the nation's governors would say, but he was saying it in plain English in public with reporters gathered to hear it. And he was saying it in the certain knowledge that his defense of the investigating committee and the legitimacy of the 2020 election would bring down the wrath of Donald Trump. Quote, Mitch McConnell does not speak for the Republican Party and does not represent the views of the vast majority of its voters, close quote, Trump shot back in a statement released by his Save America PAC. Who are we saving America from? Him? Is Make It Great now saving it? This is too much. He did nothing to fight for his constituents and stop the most fraudulent election in American history. It is hard to find a comparable exchange between a president and a Senate leader of the same party anywhere in U.S. history. Boy, I hope this does go to pay-per-view. That would be great to have a nice little battle royal between those two. That would be fun. I'd watch it. I'd pay for that. Pay-per-view with Trump and McConnell. What was that show that used to be on MTV when they used to have the claymation figures fight each other?
Celebrity Deathmatch.
There's celebrity. They need to bring it back.
Yeah, and just for that,
for that,
yeah, political celebrity deathmatch.
Yeah, political. Yeah, you can have Pelosi against somebody. You can have. Who is it that called him? You can have Bette Midler fight Joe Manchin. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
I mean, you can work it. You can make it go. Awesome. Yeah. You're in Maryland. You know what the deal is. Matthew, welcome. You're new. Max, you're new as well. Welcome, you guys. Tete is saying that last week, that crazy site from Vlim Glib
yeah,
and his friends, last week, he said the one last week was a site for meeting local women. I know I know some of the local women here in town. I don't know if you want to meet them. Not if they're doing that. Be careful. Meeting local women. And more news about Washington, because who can get enough of it? The GOP is calling for the Capitol to reopen. More than half of Senate Republicans plan to introduce a resolution this week calling to fully reopen the Capitol to the public after it was closed because of the coronavirus. Why it matters? Well, the resolution is the latest salvo in an ongoing dispute between the two parties over how secure the Capitol should be amid the lingering pandemic and the aftermath of the January 6th attack. Republicans in the House have long railed against pandemic measures like proxy voting and a mandate requiring masks in the chamber. A couple of Republicans have opted to be repeatedly fined rather than comply with the mandate, prompting Assistant House Speaker Catherine Clark, Democrat from Massachusetts, to suggest that they be required to vote in isolation boxes. There's also been a partisan fight over how many members of Congress to allow at President Biden's State of the Union next month. Senator Bill Hagerty, Republican from Tennessee, is leading the resolution along with 25 mostly conservative Senate Republicans. They include, and let me go back real quick. So if McConnell doesn't represent the Republican Party and Trump doesn't really who's representing the Republican Party then? This is time. Senate Minority Whip John Thune from South Dakota and Senator Rick Scott from Florida, chairman of the National Republican Senatorial Committee. The resolution calls for the Senate side of the Capitol complex to return to pre-COVID-19 visitor policies to facilitate public participation in the legislative process and public visitations of these historic buildings. From stores to venues and most workplaces and schools, the rest of the United States has reopened, and it's time for the Senate to do the same, Hagerty said in a statement obtained by Axios. Hagerty plans to try to pass the resolution through unanimous consent this week, spokesperson Judd Deere told Axios. The Capitol has been largely closed to the public since the onset of the pandemic in March 2020, with no clear public timeline for reopening. I don't think they should open that back up until they figure out what happened on the 6th of January. And I mean, do we really have to have an elongated discussion about what happened? It's kind of clear what happened. I mean, we saw it. Everybody watched that. That was the number one TV show that day. The resurrection, the insurrection. Come on, you all. Help me, man. Come on. Let's do better. And here's another question for the class. How many of you folks are on TikTok? Yes or no? Yes, I'm on TikTok. No, I'm not. You can go on backchannel.tv and leave your answer there. You can also do it on YouTube, and you can ask your Amazon support devices to let you in the chat by using the word say. Say, and there you are. There is a problem with TikTok's algorithm and race. All right, that's the backdrop. Super Bowl is over, so we are officially, post Valentine's Day now. West Elm Caleb. Anybody know who that is? Why was he dubbed one of the year's first internet villains, and what does his saga tell us about race on the internet? Here we go. Let's dive in. Here's the backstory. In January, a woman posted a TikTok about her frustration with being ghosted after dates. In the video, she specifies she's in New York City, and her caption references a tall guy named Caleb, and that's about it. But this smattering of info, catalyzed by TikTok's powerful recommendation algorithm, turned the video into a lighthouse for a swath of young, mostly white women in the New York dating scene. In the comments and their own videos, about a dozen women shared stories about meeting a tall guy named Caleb on Hinge, who said he worked at West Elm as a furniture designer. In front of a growing audience, women who said they had or were currently dating Caleb pieced together a character built out of red flags. The man who told them he had just deleted Hinge had apparently actually left their meeting to go on to another date, they said. As the story spread, more and more people chimed in, analyzing Caleb's behavior, trying to find their local equivalents, calling him everything from emotionally manipulative to a love bomber to a sociopath. And so, as these things go, Caleb went from local Hinge player to dating supervillain, the target of a massive righteous internet investigation. An audience of millions helped uncover and blow up his personal information. Several brands made posts trying to dunk on Caleb and edge in on the attention. A non-West Elm furniture store, a rival dating app, Hellman's Mayo, for some reason. It was around this time that it jumped from a TikTok trend to internet news, with pieces bursting forth about how actually this punishment didn't fit the crime. Caleb's behavior, while certainly questionable sounding, really didn't seem outside the realm of normal, given the generally low standards for boys on the apps. And while it's good that many called out the overstep in reaction, it also made us think about the ways that these outrage cycles happen and often get ignored when people of color are involved. Mass harassment, character attack, and doxing are all pretty par for the course for people who stumble into internet attention. But this case seemed to play out in a very specific way, which raises some questions. How exactly did Caleb get so much attention in the first place? And what kind of attention was it? While social media companies tend to stay tight-lipped about how their algorithms work, TikTok describes part of their recommendation system as collaborative filtering, a system that creates personalized recommendations by showing you what other users who like the same things as you also like. It's the kind of thing that takes a few diagrams to explain. Mark Fadul, an AI researcher who raised concerns about racial bias in TikTok's recommendations, told BuzzFeed that collaborative filtering may also reproduce whatever bias there is in people's behavior. People who tend to like blonde teens tend to like a whole lot of other blonde teens. But that's wow. But viral zeitgeistness isn't just about the amount of eyeballs on a story. It's also about the type of audience attached to those eyeballs. Are the people watching you mostly looking for easy fun? Or is your audience saturated with content makers who make response videos or work for ad agencies or national news organizations? On TikTok, there's a flip side to the white stories that get the most mainstream attention. Black users have consistently had to fight for visibility and credit. Last year, creators flagged that terms like Black Lives Matter and Black people were seemingly being suppressed by automated moderation. The black dancers and choreographers who consistently created the biggest dance trends on the internet watched white users skyrocket the popularity by copying their work to the point of a content strike also last year. Do you guys remember the content strike on TikTok? Tay says he's not on TikTok. Fair. Jody, welcome. Who's on TikTok? I need to know. So all this reading I'm doing makes sense. Another recent, more sobering social media phenomenon also raised questions about the line between pre-programmed and live human editorial bias. The disappearance of Gabby Petito last year got national attention in part because it attracted a huge algorithm-driven wave of internet sleuthing. That tragedy and its widespread coverage led to a renewed spotlight on missing white women syndrome, since many noted that the case stood in harsh contrast to the 700 indigenous people who were reported missing in Wyoming in the past decade who received relatively little media attention. The more our lives become intertwined and caught up in tech and social media algorithms, the more it's worth trying to understand and unpack just how those algorithms work, who becomes viral and why, who gets harassed, who gets defended, and what are the lasting repercussions? And how does the internet both obscure and exacerbate the racial and gender dynamics that already animate so much of our social interactions? So if you've ever been on TikTok in your life and you're on there for any extended period of time, and I'm on TikTok because I like watching it. I won't post a video on it, but I do like watching TikTok. You'll notice that the things you watch are the things you will always see. That is your algorithm. I believe TikTok has a more diabolical setup in terms of its algorithm than even Facebook does, because depending on what you watch on your phone will be the same things that pop up on TikTok. I know some creators who have created some amazing content for TikTok and had their stuff stolen, and the person who stole it got money, got paid. It's a very interesting thing. There's something to keep an eye on, passengers, about TikTok and their algorithms. I for one enjoy watching things on TikTok, but I am very apprehensive to post a video on there. Travis, are you on TikTok at all? Is that your jam? Do you do the TikTok dances and stuff?
No, I tried. I honestly tried. I've tried dancing for a decade. I'm giving up on that at this point.
Yeah, I stopped doing that a long time ago. But this is fun.
Whatever. Oh yeah, the arm waving.
Yeah.
I used to work at a music school that had a lot of teenagers come in doing group classes and things, and I remember a distinct shift over like a 2-month period where I would come out, we would break for whatever, and I'd come back, and everybody would be doing. Most of the room would be attempting some kind of coordinated dance on camera. It's like, what the heck?
A TikTok revolution.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like the platform. I don't dislike it. I just don't not my jam. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to do videos and all that stuff. And I don't have time for all that.
In terms of content, I think it's fantastic. It does a great job of personalizing what you're seeing, but it is something that takes a bit of a commitment to create content for versus, like a Twitter where you're just like, this thought, done.
Yeah. And with I think of all of the platforms, Twitter is the one that I like the most because it's brief and to the point and go forth.
Mm-hmm.
TikTok seems like it requires a lot of work. I am not a filmmaker. And I would want something really dope if I want to do it. I don't want to put no garbage on anything.
Yeah, of course.
That's why I'm here.
100%. 100%.
Yeah. As we get ready to step out, I do have a story to just put on your mind. We talked a couple of weeks ago about about some space trash that was going to slam into the moon.
Yeah, that's right.
Mm-hmm. Well, a rogue rocket expected to collide with the moon on March 4th was wrongly identified as a SpaceX Falcon rocket stage, and instead is likely from a past Chinese lunar mission, according to NASA. The object now on target to hit the moon was first made public by Bill Gray, an independent researcher focused on orbital dynamics, and the developer of astronomical software. He identified it in 2015 as the second stage of a SpaceX Falcon rocket used that same year to launch the U.S. Deep Space Climate Observatory, or DISCOVER. The object, initially called WEO 913A, or as it's known now, Vlim Glib, by asteroid spotters, had gone past the moon 2 days after Discover's launch, he said. I and others came to accept the identification with the second stage as correct. The object had about the brightness we would expect, and it showed up at the expected time and moving in a reasonable orbit, Gray said on his website. His assessment was widely accepted by by other space experts in NASA, which said it was monitoring the moon's trajectory, the rocket's trajectory. Over the weekend, though, Gray said he had gotten the object's origins wrong after communicating with John Giurini of NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory, which doesn't track space junk, but does keep careful track of a lot of active spacecraft, including Discover. John pointed out that JPL's Horizon system showed that the Discover spacecraft's trajectory did not go particularly close to the moon. It would be a little strange if the second stage went right past the moon while Discover was in another part of the sky. There's always some separation, but this was suspiciously large. Analysts led by NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory Center for Near Earth Object Studies. Every one of these things sound like something in a Marvel movie. I'm sorry, it just does. Indicated the object expected to impact the far side of the moon March 4th is likely the Chinese Change 5 T1 booster launched in 2014, according to a NASA statement released Monday. It is not a SpaceX Falcon 9 second stage from a mission in 2015, as previously reported. This update results from analysis of the object's orbits in the 2016-2017 timeframe. Can you just get it right, NASA? Can we just get it right? What is it? What is it? Space junk? Is it a spaceship? What the hell is it? I just want to know what it is. This isn't hard. Lord, Travis, I'm sorry. I ran us over a little bit.
But, it's all right.
Come on with the space junk. I'm buying a telescope so I am for real. I'm buying a telescope because I get a really nice clear view of the sky from my house, and I want to see. I'll let you know if it happens. I'm calling everybody I know. Like, yo, it is going down on the moon. Something has hit it. It's some space junk. Oh, there are people walking out on the moon, jumping up and down in anger. Now there's a fight, the space junk fight. Whatever, man. When we come back, we're going to delve into some more things. Travis is going to take us out. We appreciate everybody that's watching us on backchannel.tv, and we're glad that you're here today. This is The Drive with Mario Smith on backchannel.tv, YouTube, and on your Amazon-supported devices, and we will be right back. Welcome back, everybody, to The Drive. I'm Mario Smith. It's time for our community report, and we begin our community report in Georgia as the Ahmaud Arbery hate crime trial has officially begun. The prosecutor is detailing Ahmaud Arbery's killer's racist history. The three white men who were convicted of murdering Ahmaud Arbery, a black jogger whose shooting death in 2020 sparked protests and calls for racial justice, had histories of making racist comments and slurs in text messages, a federal prosecutor said in court on Monday. A multiracial jury was seated in the federal hate crimes trial of the three men as defense attorneys admitted their clients had used offensive language and opinions about black people. But the defense attorneys insisted the three men's pursuit of the 25-year-old was prompted by, quote, honest, though erroneous suspicion that he committed crimes and not solely based on his race, the Associated Press reported. Quote, I'm not going to ask you to like Travis McMichael, said Amy Lee Copeland, the defense attorney for the man who fatally shot Arbery, AP reported. I'm not going to ask you to decide that he had done nothing wrong, but I'm going to ask you to return a verdict of not guilty to this indictment, she concluded, or continued. I'm having trouble. Continued. McMichael, along with his father, Greg McMichael, chased Arbery in their pickup truck after he ran past their Brunswick, Georgia home on February 23rd, 2020. Both men said they believed Arbery might have been the person responsible for a recent string of break ins in their Satilla Shores neighborhood. A neighbor, William Roddy Bryan, joined the McMichaels in the pursuit. At one point, Travis McMichael and Arbery got into a fight, and McMichael fired his shotgun at Arbery, killing him. Arbery's family members called the killing, which was captured on video by Bryan and later leaked to the public, a modern day lynching. The federal proceeding, which will examine whether race was a factor in the killing, begins 1 month after the three men were sentenced to life in prison in a separate murder trial in Georgia State Court. The jury there found the trio guilty of felony murder and other charges in connection with Arbery's death. This is interesting. A man in Arizona is accused of stealing a $25,000 dinosaur claw from an Arizona gem show. Christopher Thomas, 39, allegedly took the claw from one vendor at the city's Gem and Mineral Show on January 30th and then tried to sell it to another on February 8th for a much lower price, according to police. The second vendor, Adam Aronson, recognized the artifact and contacted Eric Miller, the owner of the dinosaur fossil, who reported two claws stolen January 30th. NBC affiliate KVOA of Tucson reported. Together, they set up a miniature string operation. I'm telling you, everybody's a detective now. Watch yourselves. They told the suspect to bring in the claw for a buyer who was actually Miller to check out. When I saw it come into the room where I was hiding as a potential buyer, I was absolutely thrilled. Aronson then confronted Thomas, saying they would call police. I told the guy, sorry, we have a problem. This claw is stolen property. We're going to have to call the police, Aronson said. Tucson police had officers on site who detained Thomas. He was charged with trafficking stolen property. Attorney information for the subject was not immediately available. Tucson police said the case highlights the importance of vendors, neighbors communicating and working together. The second claw stolen from Miller is still missing. It also says a lot about the fact that people run around with dinosaur claws. Dinosaur claws. Okay. In San Francisco, police and this is terrible. Police used rape victim database to identify suspects, prosecutor says. San Francisco District Attorney Chelsea, I'm sorry, folks, Chesay Bowden, I think that's correct, called the practice legally and ethically wrong. The San Francisco Police Department is accused of using DNA from sexual assault victims to identify possible crime suspects in a practice that the city's district attorney called legally and ethically wrong. San Francisco District Attorney, Chesay Bowden, said in a statement Monday that his office had demanded an immediate end to the alleged practice, which he said treats victims like evidence, not human beings. The DA's office that said that the police department's crime lab tried to identify suspects by searching a database with DNA collected from rape and sexual assault victims. It isn't clear how long the practice is alleged to have been used or how many suspects are alleged to have been identified using it. A spokeswoman for the district attorney did not immediately respond to a request for details about how the alleged practice was discovered. The San Francisco Chronicle reported that Bowden said his office was made aware of it last week. All right, we got three things on the table, Travis. One, Ahmaud Arbery and his trial. It's a hate crime trial now, as they have both, all three men have been convicted of murder. Um, And then we've got what's happening in Minnesota in the last week and a half. There's still George Floyd fallout. That trial has gone underway now with the other police officers who were involved. Um, I it's hard for me to sit here and not say that it does not bother me greatly that these things are happening. I'd be lying if I said I didn't. It's not even easy for me to read that. Uh, I wonder though what the perception is in other parts of the country. I don't know. I don't have my finger on the pulse of Los Angeles,
Mhm.
but what are Los Angelinos when these things come up? What's kind of like the tenor of folks out that way?
We're a pretty liberal city, through and through for the most part, especially in this, like, the Los Angeles proper hub. So, over the summer after the George Floyd murder, there were highways being clogged with protests that went on despite the pandemic. This is summer 2020. That went on for months on end. And, I'm really proud to be living in a city that is no, stranger to activism and community organizing. And, more often than not, every issue like this, where it's a social issue, is going to fall on the side of diversity, inclusion, and justice for oppressed and marginalized communities.
Right.
Yeah, it's
It's sad.
sad. It's
It's
really
sad as
sad.
hell. It's sad. It's 2022, man. It's the, this is the first time I've met you, and I've had a conversation with you for literally 52 minutes, and I do not feel in any way that my life is being threatened. I cannot guarantee that same feeling when I walk outside and see a white man when I'm walking down the street in Chicago, and I'd be like, oh man, is this going to be the guy that's upset at something that has nothing to do with me and decides
Yeah,
to do something? And
it
that's frightening and sad.
it's terrible. And I've been lucky enough to come from like a family and a social group where everybody kind of understands that not everybody gets to play by the same rules, but like I do my best to recognize that every day I walk out with the whole, like you just illustrated, the whole world of anxieties and fears that I don't have them.
Right.
I'm not, those aren't my, they don't, I'm not burdened with that. And that is, I'm very lucky to have that. And what's more so is that it's wrong that I'm lucky to have that. It
Yeah.
sucks that I'm lucky to have that. That shouldn't be the case.
Yeah. And okay, second thing, in San Francisco, before I talk about this ridiculous dinosaur claw, in San Francisco, I did not know that you could use that information to look for suspects. That just sounds wrong on every imaginable level.
Yeah, it's not the best. It gives you that kind of odd, queasy moral
Mm,
feeling,
hmm.
and it's funny. Speaking about liberal hubs, I'm from the Bay Area originally, and San Francisco is a pretty socially progressive city that has a lot of care that it takes in making sure that people are respected in their individualism and their humanity. So this is just really yikes,
Yeah,
yikes, big old yikes.
yeah, man. It's frightening that, and heaven forbid any of my friends ever get into this situation. But that data is not supposed to be available for someone to go, even if it's going to go look for a suspect. That's
Mhm.
I don't
Yeah,
think you need to do that. I don't. Something's not right about that.
this is akin to, I remember when, I think it was the San Francisco, I forget who exactly it was. It was the district attorney's office of either a city in California or just the California DA was pressing Apple to
Yes, I
have
remember that.
them give up private information to help them find those bombing suspects. And we kind of arrived at a similar crossroads of, yeah, there's an idea of a greater good here, but like individual freedom is sort of paramount. And then this is a whole nother,
Yeah,
it's a development of that, where this is traumatic, unfortunate circumstance and information that should be put to bed as soon as the issue is resolved for that individual person. It's unfortunately it's gross.
it's super. That's the word I was looking for. It's gross.
Yeah.
It's gross. It's hard to articulate just how nasty that is. It's gross. And then this dinosaur claw. First of all, I'm sorry. Why are human beings? just regular old guys, walking around with dinosaur claws in their collection. And why are you trying to steal a dinosaur claw, son? Where are you going to go with this dinosaur claw? Are you going to go to the pawn shop? Like, hey, look, I got a dinosaur claw. You want it? How much money are you going to give me for it? And then you're trying to resell it. And it's not like there are a million dinosaur claws. Dinosaur claw. It's not like there are that many dinosaur claws where people are like, oh, man, I had a dinosaur claw last week. I only get $10 for it. You only get 20. No, those things are rare. So if one gets stolen or two get stolen, everybody that's in the dinosaur claw community is going to be like, yo, this man stole a dinosaur claw from me.
Oh my God. And the idea that not only did he steal it from a vendor, he then went to, as it says in this article, he went to essentially another auction show, another like gem and minerals show later. So
Right.
it's ostensibly where a lot of these same people would hang out. I imagine this club is smaller than, some clubs out there. It's not like the AAA, So he's just rolling up to somebody who probably knows the guy who the dinosaur claw got taken from and says, hey, I'll give you a discount on this dinosaur claw that I have.
I got a dinosaur claw.
Yeah. It was my grandfather's dinosaur claw. He killed it. I don't know.
Hey, Travis, your mom just hit us.
Oh, hi, Mom. How you doing?
Hey, Mom.
That
Travis's
is
mom. Look at that. Great
coming
topic.
to us live from Pahrump, Nevada.
Sweet. Is it still 6,000 degrees in Nevada? Do you guys have water? Are you ready to move yet,
Do
Travis's
you
mom?
have water?
Get the hell out of Nevada.
Yeah.
It's nice to meet you, Travis's mom. That's nice. Oh, she gave a heart and everything. Oh,
Wonderful
right.
lady.
Checking on you, man. She ain't checking on me. She's making sure you're doing a good job. And you're doing a great job. I have not mentioned to you that I've been up since 3 a.m., have I?
No. Whoa. What?
Yeah, that's why I look like I'm very focused and engaged.
Was that when the clear out started for the gig? Were you guys, coming in to
No,
set up at
no.
3? Oh my goodness.
I actually not 3. I'm sorry, 4 a.m.
That's not okay. That's the same time to me.
Travis, your mom says she loves you.
I don't know. That might be for you. I don't know.
No. We just met. Hold on, Mrs. Butterfield. I'm not trying to get in any trouble with Mr. Butterfield or any of the family. I'm a simple man in a Midwestern town. That's all I do. I come here. I come into my house to the corner. I'm literally in the corner of my house. My neighbors next door don't like that I do this show either. They don't like it.
Really? Come on.
My walls aren't thin, but they always try to throttle me right around 3 Central.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, here it goes. It's his turn. Let's go turn on every device we got. Let's go.
Yeah. It's the passive aggressive, the subliminal messaging.
We can't tell him to stop doing what he's doing, but we could make it drag and slow down all day. So there you go. Those are the stories that we were working on, and we're gonna do some. That's okay. I love you too, but not in that way. I understand. It's all right. Now, see, that's a woman who understands Mario Smith. That's been my tagline. I love you, but not in that way. For many, many, many years now.
Right there with you.
So, God, this thing is every day. I'm like, wow, how much sillier can it get? Eric, welcome to the stream. Prudence in Pennsylvania, dear Prudence. Welcome. I know you hate that, Prudence. I'm sorry, but that's one of my favorite songs. Jody, what's up? Amelia, John, everybody, awesome. Awesome. The person's name is awesome. Thank you for watching on Backchannel.tv. We come back with the top of the hour and give you the headlines, and then we delve into some entertainment news and things of that nature. We'll be right back. It's The Drive with Mario Smith here on Backchannel.tv. Afternoon, everybody. Welcome to The Drive on Backchannel.tv. My name is Mario Smith. We're broadcasting live from Chicago, Illinois. If you're just joining us, thank you so much for catching up with us. We are available Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and then on Friday here from 4 Eastern until 6 p.m. Joining me in Los Angeles, California today, not Gliss, because Gliss travels everywhere, but it's Travis. And thank you, Travis, for helping out today, man, on the show. We really appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much.
No problem. It's my literal, genuine pleasure.
This is fun.
Yeah, it was a good time.
See, all those stories you heard about me? Accurate.
Yeah,
all of them are true. All of them.
He's well dressed. He's intelligent.
I'm
he's
just slow down. Let's
he's
not
got a great radio voice.
Everybody
he's
take
send
it
me.
easy.
He's gonna send me $100 after the show.
Well, I tell you, they told you about Hal. Hal's the one with all the money. or Liv. Those are the two that are rich. I'm not.
Yeah.
And we talked to Travis's mom, who says she loves me, but not in that way. I'm making T-shirts. I just made my mind up during the break. T-shirts. I love Mario. Sorry, not in that way.
That's good. We'll get you rich yet.
That's the nicest thing anybody has said today to me. Thank you, Travis's mom. Mom. I'm brothers with everyone here, and sisters and brothers and sisters. Thank you to everybody who's watching our back channel. That's Travis down in the corner. You know, a couple of times I look down there in the corner. I'm like, damn, is there somebody behind me? And I'm like, no, it's not. It happens like it happened with Gliss. I'll be talking. I'm like, who let this man in my house? What the hell? Thank you again, man. I really appreciate it. And our passengers appreciate it as well. Andrea has just joined the stream. Ryder is here. Ooh. I always wanted a cool name like that, right?
That's really good.
But it couldn't have Smith on the end of it, though. Ryder Smith. That sounds peculiar.
Yeah,
it sounds like I'm in the adult entertainment business with a name like Ryder Smith.
Yeah.
I don't want that. But I like the name Ryder. That's a cool ass name. Ryder. Eric, Prudence, Amelia, John, Jody, Amanda, Deborah, McIntosh in California, Verona in New Hampshire, Sunny in Indiana, Bella in Northern Virginia, Nathan and sometimes C in Texas, Jennifer Lopez in New York. Relax, everybody. It's J-Lo. Take it easy. Cole in South Carolina, Prudence in Pennsylvania, and our new folks, Prudence, Eric, and our buddy Andrea in Florida. Thanks, you guys, for being here. And let's take a look at some headlines that are happening around the world at this hour. The Sandy Hook family settled for $73 million with gunmaker Remington. The families of 9 victims of the Sandy Hook Elementary School shooting announced today that they've agreed $3 million settlement of a lawsuit against the maker of the rifle used to kill 20 kids, 20 first graders and 6 educators in 2012. The case was watched closely by gun control advocates, gun rights supporters, and manufacturers because of its potential to provide a roadmap for victims of other shootings to sue firearm makers. Wow. Sandy Hook. I'm sorry. That's yuck. Ottawa's police chief resigns amid truck protest in Canada. Ottawa's police chief resigned today amid criticism of his inaction against the trucker protests that have paralyzed Canada's capital for over 2 weeks, while demonstrators elsewhere across the country abandoned another one of their blockades at the U.S. border. Trucks with horns blaring rolled out of the southern Alberta town of Coutts, across from Montana, ending the siege that had disrupted trade for more than 2 weeks. Police earlier this week arrested 11 people at the obstructed crossing and seized guns and ammunition. The two developments came a day after Prime Minister Justin Trudeau invoked extraordinary emergency powers to try to end the occupation in Ottawa and elsewhere around the country, across Canada and beyond. The question in the coming days will be whether it works. And finally, at this hour, the United States could see sea levels rise higher than they've ever risen, or at least in the last 30 years. And then all of a sudden, everything on Mario's computer stopped. I'll just give you a rundown. We'll do it this way. The water is going to rise up in eastern cities at a level that we haven't seen in 30 years. It's going to happen in the next 30 years. We haven't seen this happen in hundreds of years. So be careful. Keep telling you, watch it, man. Water is powerful. unforgiving even. And that's all I got. That's the what's happening at the top of the hour. Don't forget, you can join us on Back Channel beginning at 6 a.m. Eastern Time with Haley and Allison and all of our great friends along the way. Oh, well, this will explain what happened, correct? I can give it to you. Hold on. I got it now. The U.S. could see a century's worth of sea rise in just 30 years. America's coastline will see sea levels rise in the next 30 years by as much as they did in the entire 20th century, with major eastern cities reporting with major eastern cities hit regularly with costly floods, even on sunny days, a government report warns. By 2050, seas lapping against the U.S. shore will be 10 to 12 inches higher, with parts of Louisiana and Texas projected to see waters a foot and a half higher, according to a 111-page report issued today by the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration and 6 other federal agencies. Make no mistake, sea level rises upon us, said Nicole LeBouf, director of NOAA's National Ocean Service. The projected increase is especially alarming, given that in the 20th century, seas along the Atlantic coast rose at the fastest clip in 2,000 years. LeBouf also warned that the cost will be high, pointing out that much of the American economy and 40% of the population are along the coast. And that is that for news at the top of the hour. Hey, Travis, take us out for a second because we have to present our entertainment report. It's Have No Fear, the cameras are here. We'll be back in just a moment on backchannel.tv. Welcome back, everybody, to backchannel.tv. I'm Mario Smith, and you're watching us on YouTube, backchannel.tv, and on your Amazon supported devices as I try to make sure that you can hear me on this microphone without sticking my head all the way down like this. It's time for entertainment news, and I don't know how you feel about this one, but I, I'm with it, I guess. And it's got nothing to do with the fact that it's 3 women at all. Wanda Sykes, Amy Schumer, and Regina Hall, who I adore, all 3 of those women I adore actually, are going to be hosting the Academy Awards. Today, the trio were officially named hosts of the 94th Academy Awards that are going to take place uh, at some point this year. They announced the names on Good Morning America. Um, this is the first time in Oscars history that 3 women have hosted the show, though it's not the first time more than one person has been enlisted for the job. The most recent instance was in 2011 when actors James Franco and Anne Hathaway hosted to harsh reviews. The Oscar has not had 3 hosts since Chevy Chase, Goldie Hawn, and Paul Hogan teamed up for the 59th Academy Awards in 1987. The past 3 ceremonies have been hostless, a trend that began in 2019 when Kevin Hart opted to step away from the gig amid controversy. In Sykes, Schumer, and Hall, the Oscars have recruited 3 seasoned comedic entertainers and experienced hosts. In addition to her big and small screen work, Schumer led the MTV Movie Awards in 2015, and Hall presided over the BET Awards in 2019. Scene Steeler Sykes, meanwhile, is an accomplished MC, hosting everything from her own talk show to the 29th annual GLAAD Media Awards. She's also guest hosted for the likes of Jimmy Kimmel and Ellen DeGeneres. The Oscars will be held on March 27th. I, I had in mind, and you're out in Los Angeles, Travis. I was thinking it would be cool if they had Dave Chappelle host the Oscars. I thought that would be entertaining, very interesting. It would be the equivalent of Ricky Gervais, but not as biting to
Yeah.
everybody because I think Dave could hold it down and but still be really funny.
Hmm.
And because now every time someone says his name, they're trying to catch him. like what's going on in Yellow Springs with he was alleged to said he was against affordable housing when that wasn't the case at all. He was against the person who wanted to put affordable housing in Yellow Springs to completely change the town and also to make it harder for people to live there. Uh, I think he's a polarizing enough character that that would have been perfect for an Academy Awards, particularly with the movies that came out this past year. Some
Hmm.
very interesting and very polarizing movies. And I'm not against the three ladies. I just thought there were maybe better choices, but I think they're going to knock it out. I would like to think they would anyway.
Yeah, yeah, I can't help but agree. However, the Academy, the old stodgy organization that it is slow, glacial in its
Mm-hmm.
pace to adopt change and shake things up. I believe are trying to settle the issue of hosts in a way that incurs as little rocking in the boat as possible, because no matter who was set to host this year, there's going to be the this is who they pick for the Oscar host
Yeah,
because they've taken so many years off. And it would have been great to see them take a real big swing like Chappelle.
that would have been
And
fun.
it would have been fun. And I can't fault them for going, I guess, quote unquote, safe, even though this is a great opportunity. It shows they're committed to some kind of diversity and inclusion. But it does kind of feel like they're trying to pin the tail on the donkey as opposed to, really start a conversation.
Yeah, and if they were going to, I mean, they could have stayed hostless. I thought those shows ran much better, much
Yeah.
quicker. But I can tell you one thing: Wanda Sykes, watch out. If the world doesn't know who Wanda Sykes is, they're going to find out. She's the
Yeah.
one, and that's good. She's going to bring all kinds of wonderful heat to that show. That should be very interesting. Hey, I don't know how familiar you are with dumb people, but this dude is the dumbest of the dumb people. His name is Zachary Joseph Horowitz. He's an actor who built film investors out of $650 million. He just got 250 years, 20 years. Not enough. Should have been 250 years. Um, his stage name is Zach Avery. Uh, and the
Whoa.
way that NBC News, here's why I know he's a dummy, because they describe him as low budget film actor Zachary Joseph Horowitz.
Nice.
That's beautiful.
Nice.
He was sentenced Monday to 20 years in federal prison after he pleaded guilty to scamming investors out of an estimated $650 million. U.S. District Judge Mark C. Scarcy meted out the sentence in Los Angeles and added that Horowitz is obligated to pay 230,000, no, 230 million, 361,884 he kept from the scheme. I bet you, Travis, he ain't got a dollar. He ain't got none of
No.
that money.
No.
No, $230 million. He just, hey, you know what? I'm Zachary Horowitz. I just happen to have in my he's broke. How's he gonna come up with $230 million?
Oh.
230,361,884, and I'm sure it's like and 71 cents. Where's he gonna get that money from? He's
Oh
broke.
no.
He's done. It's over with. Hey, Zach, good job. He promised returns as much. Well, wait, hold on. He persuaded five investor groups and more than 250 people to lend him cash by claiming he could buy movie rights from producers and sell them to HBO, Netflix, and Sony Pictures Entertainment at a large profit as the platform seized on global consumers' shift to streaming,
Oh
prosecutors said.
god.
Horowitz promised returns as much as 45% and displayed fraudulent documents, including agreements giving his firm those rights, they said. As the scam
Ooh.
was underway in the latter half of the 2010s, media giants were racing to stock up on web based content, gobbling up the rights to titles, many for the emerging foreign market online, in what has been described as the streaming wars. Federal prosecutors who narrowed the case to one count of securities fraud after Horowitz agreed to plead guilty last year described it as a Ponzi scheme. Damn, son, you're going to jail. Oh, gosh. He used his newest investment cash to make promised payments with interest to earlier investors. In 2013, he set up a firm called 1MM Capital LLC, ostensibly, I'm sorry, to buy the rights to English language movies and sell them to major media companies for streaming in Latin America. This was an elaborate plot my man had. FBI Special Agent John Verestaro said in an affidavit last year. The scam started the next year, prosecutors said. Horowitz pitched his targets on a single title, sometimes getting $1 million Why am I in this chair? Why don't I just scam people to make up fake movies? Oh my God.
Wow.
That dude, he had referred to himself as an entrepreneur, sent a pricey bottle of Johnny Walker Blue Label. First of all, dude, I get it with the Blue Label, but that's not going to make me give you $1 million. That's not $1 million scotch. I'm just saying. I mean, I'm saying. He was arrested in April when the scheme was shut down. Wow. That's a lot of money, man. That's a lot of money.
This is incredible. And I think the most ironic thing about this is that it will probably be made into a streaming series.
Oh, yeah, whoa, wouldn't that be great?
Yeah.
Get him to play himself. Let him out and put an ankle bracelet on. You're gonna play you because we can't find anybody that acts as good as you because you're the greatest actor ever. You're also a dummy.
There's no one we can think of that could act this stupid.
Right. We need you to do the dumbest thing you've ever done. Again. Can you do this again? All right. It's going to be on Netflix, too. Remember you tried to sell it to Netflix? It's going to be on all of those. 101 million people watched the Super Bowl on their televisions. That doesn't count how many may have watched on a phone or on a streaming service, what have you. 100 million people. It's the biggest audience the Super Bowl has had in 2 years. It averaged 99.18 million viewers on NBC, an additional 1.91 million on Telemundo, for an over-the-air tally of 101.9 million viewers. Streaming and digital platforms, including Peacock, NBC Sports, and NFL and team properties, pushed the total to 112.3 million viewers. That's a lot of eyeballs on a football game that ended weird. Wow. And then they went right into their Olympic coverage that scored their biggest audience of the games to date. The network averaged 21.28 million viewers from 10:24 p.m. to midnight Eastern, nearly doubling the previous high for the Olympics. 11.9 million on February 10th. An additional 1.21 million people watched on USA starting at 10:45 p.m. Eastern. The NBC audience for the Olympics is slightly higher than the 20.4 million who watched the series premiere of The Equalizer after the Super Bowl on CBS last year, and in line with the average post-game programs for the previous 5 years, $22.9 million. And finally, Spider-Man, Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, is now the movie that is ranking as the number 3 film of all time at the U.S. domestic box office. The Sony and Marvel superhero blockbuster on Monday passed up Avatar at the domestic box office to rank as the number 3 movie of all time, not adjusted for inflation, according to the studio Sony partnered with Marvel on the blockbuster. The web slinger finished the day with a domestic total of $761 million. You know, sometimes when I read these money figures, Travis, I say this to Gliss all the time. It just makes me angry because that's a lot of money that I'm never going to get.
I'm personally offended by how much money Spider-Man made.
I mean, Spider-Man is my boy. I love Spidey. But I'm just saying, that's a lot of money.
It's a lot.
I'm never going to see.
Yeah.
No matter what I do in my life. Oh, well, congratulations. All right, I got to read these names. Gliss is watching from a boat in Florida.
Hey.
What's up, Gliss? Liz is in Florida as well, hopefully not on the same boat. Todd has joined the stream. Liz has joined the stream. And the greatest name of all time, Princess Consuela Banana Hammock, has joined the stream. Princess Consuela Banana Hammock, you are listener viewer number 1. And hello to you. When we come back, we'll play ball. Talk some sportsy sports. Don't go anywhere. It's The Drive with Mario Smith here on Backchannel.tv, and we'll be back particularly to talk to Princess Consuela Banana Hammock in just a moment. Hey, everybody, welcome to Backchannel.tv and welcome back to The Drive. And everyone, please give a warm welcome to Princess Consuela Banana Hammock, the greatest name I've ever seen on anything. I'm almost in tears of how wonderful a name that is. Thank you so much for watching. Hello, everybody. It's time to talk sports. Nevada, we were talking about the Super Bowl a moment ago. The state of Nevada, the Silver State, that's what they call it, took in an all-time high. All right, here's more money, Travis. This is gonna make me mad again. $179.8 million in wagers on the NFL's title game between the Los Angeles Rams and the Cincinnati Bengals. An 8.6% profit it was achieved.
Whoo,
That's a lot of money.
ooh, that's a lot of upset spouses.
A lot of people lost their shirt on this game. I was talking to somebody today. I'm not a gambler because God knows I'd be sitting in here in this chair. I'd be 24 hours of the drive because I'd be trying to make up the money I lost gambling. Um, and he was saying that most people bet. I guess it was the Bengals. It was a 4 point differential somehow, and they lost by three. So a lot of people lost their shirt that way.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my goodness gracious! Yeah, the house scored an 8.6% profit thanks to action going on the Rams, giving 4.5 points, and other bettors putting their money on the total score, going over 48.5 points. Ooh, wow! So yeah, that's how they got their 8.6% profit.
Good
And
lord.
now there's more like legal gambling in the United States with DraftKings and all these other places you could bet on your phone.
Hmm.
Um, there's no way I'd bet on anything involving the Super Bowl. Not a prop bet. No, not can't because I don't think that game is set up for you to win anyway. No matter what happens,
Hmm.
people get lucky and win big money, but I don't think so.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money to. I'm just looking at the just. I'm imagining the people's faces. They had to go back to their cities and towns. Like, yo, I'm honey. I got some terrible news. We got to sell this house.
Yeah. Remember how we lived in a house?
Right. Has
About
anybody
about.
been by here in the last 20 minutes wanting to look at a house? This is the house they want to look at. We got to get out of here. Um, There's another interesting story. I'm trying to understand. This goes back to a larger question that I hope you can help me with, Travis. Novak Djokovic is
Hmm.
willing to skip the French Open and Wimbledon over his vaccine status. He said this in a BBC on camera interview. And I'm going to read the story, but I want you to understand that he said, when asked, "Are you prepared to ruin your career and
Whoa.
potentially not be known as one of the greatest tennis players ever because of your vaccine status?" And he said, "Absolutely." That is mind blowing to me. In an on
Ooh.
camera interview, yeah, right? In an on camera interview with the BBC, world number one Novak Djokovic said he is willing to skip playing in the French Open or Wimbledon because of his vaccination stance. Djokovic became embroiled in controversy earlier this year after attempting to enter Australia without a valid vaccination exemption. The 20-time Grand Slam champion was later deported, missing out on an opportunity to play in the Australian Open. Before the tennis season's first Grand Slam, Djokovic was tied with Rafael Nadal and Roger Federer with 20 Grand Slam single titles. With Djokovic absent, Nadal went on to win the Australian Open, giving him 21 major single titles, the most all times in men's the most all time in men's tennis. Djokovic told the BBC, who labeled the interview as an exclusive with the 34-year-old Serbian, that he has not received any vaccination for COVID-19. Quote, "I was never against vaccination," Djokovic told the BBC. "I understand that globally, everyone is trying to put a big effort into handling this virus and seeing, hopefully, an end soon to this virus." Djokovic said in the BBC interview that he understands the consequences of his decision to not get vaccinated, explaining that, quote, "I understand that not being vaccinated today, I'm unable to travel to most of the tournaments at the moment," close quote. And then the editor The editor, Amal Rajan, asked him, and that's a price you're willing to pay? And he said, that is the price that I'm willing to pay. So then Rajan asked him, ultimately, are you prepared to forego the chance to be the greatest player to ever pick up a racket statistically because you feel so strongly about this jab? Yes, Djokovic said, I do. When asked why, Djokovic responded, because the principles of decision making on my body are more important than any title or anything else. I'm trying to be in tune with my body as much as I possibly can. Are you kidding me? Djokovic. Here's the deal, bro. If you say you're not against the vaccine, which I have a hard time believing that, if you say you're not against the vaccine, but you do know that in Serbia people are dying because of not taking the vaccine, and in other places where they can't even get the vaccine, people are dying. Why? And you're a public figure. You're the number one man in your sport. Why are you taking such a hard stance? What is it really? I mean, I get it, the protection of your own body and you being in control over it. That's fine. Aren't you being in control over it though if you're protecting it from something that could kill you? You're gonna have to help me with that one. I don't understand that. That is crazy talk. And he's willing to do it, Travis. He's like, whatever. I don't need tennis. I'm Djokovic. Don't you recognize me without my tennis racket?
Which actually, no, I don't.
Right. Don't you recognize me with my big giant Izod, my big alligator on my clothes? I'm Djokovic. I just think that I'm not saying that, and I guess I need to be, because the sleep is coming down. I guess I need to be clear on what I'm saying. I'm not saying that he has to do anything, but I'm wondering what is the real reason behind not doing it?
Right.
Because it doesn't seem like it's a valid reason to go, well, I just want to be in control of my body. You already are.
Mm-hmm.
You're in control of your body. That's just.
Yeah, it feels like a weird manifestation of pride. I mean, we've seen similar things from, chief among people, Kyrie Irving, for a long
Mm,
time. It's speaking of Kyrie Irving and teams. Ben Simmons was just traded to the Nets, and it was reported he did get the vaccination after months of hesitancy. And you know, it's times like these you wonder, like, how much of this is a matter of principle versus pride, and
mm-hmm.
Lord knows for why. And but at the end of the day, if he's willing to sit out these major tournaments and sort of sit on his laurels, and if he feels accomplished in his career, then all right.
I believe the great Charles Barkley referred to Kyrie Irving as half man, half a season. And I think that's one of the greatest descriptions of him I've ever heard. I also have a real problem with that. And I get it, principles and all that stuff. But Kyrie, you're hurting your team. You
Yeah.
can't play half a season in the NBA, even although being able to win on the road is far more important in the playoffs as opposed to winning at home. But you got to win anyway, and
Hmm.
they're not winning games to begin with. It's just,
No, 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 no.
I don't get it.
And yeah.
I don't get that. The NBA has let Tyreek Evans back into the league after a 2-year drug suspension, and he is eligible to sign on with a new team as of Friday. Tyreek Evans has been reinstated by the NBA after a 2-year ban caused by his violation of the NBA NBPA's anti-drug program, the league announced on Monday. Evans will be eligible to sign with a new team as soon as Friday, should interest in his services exist. The former number 4 overall pick was the 2009-2010 Rookie of the Year in a class that included future superstars Steph Curry and James Harden. His career never quite reached the heights of that stellar rookie season again, though. His scoring declined in each of his subsequent seasons with the Sacramento Kings before he joined the New Orleans Pelicans, and injuries bit a chunk out of his prime. He was able to resurrect his career with a surprisingly strong stint in Memphis, but after leaving the Grizzlies for the Pacers, he posted the worst season of his career. He shot below 39% from the field in his lone season in Indiana and was suspended after that. Now, Evans, 32, will presumably attempt to return to the league and recapture some of the scoring and playmaking success that made him one of the best young players in the NBA. He's been working out in Miami with John Wall and Michael Beasley. Oh, well, there you go. Those are two. That's yeah.
Peak of their powers. Peak
Yeah,
of their
man.
powers.
You don't want to, I mean, who better to work out with than a guy that smokes a ton of pot and a guy that hates everybody? That's perfect. That'll get you back in the NBA. Um, and with teams mulling possible additions on the buyout market, Evans could get a look from a contender interested in taking a high risk, high reward swing. Of course, such teams wouldn't be asking Evans to run their offense as the Kings once did. After 2 years away, their hope would likely be that Evans could slide into more of a 3 and D role with some supplementary playmaking as a bonus. If he's willing and able to do that, he should have no problem carving out a place for himself in the NBA, even after his extended absence. Bulls don't need him. And there you go. That's Mario's sports report for the Bulls. Bulls don't need him
Pass.
at all. He, I mean, they didn't make the teams that didn't make a move, like the
Yeah.
Chicago Bulls,
Hmm.
apparently feel like they can make some noise in the playoffs with the team that they have. I know the
Yeah.
Bulls need length and they need somebody to supplement. I almost called him Jokovic. I got that stupid guy on my mind.
Yeah.
Um, Vucevic.
Yeah.
They need somebody to supplement him because he's been on a tear the last few weeks in the NBA. In the last 13 games, he's averaging like 26 points a game or something crazy. He's
Finally.
on a roll.
Yeah.
Finally, exactly. Like, thank you. This is what I wanted 2 years ago. But a team like the Bucks might be able to use Tyreek. Um, they could use another guy, although they just secured all the big men on earth, so there's no big men left. I think they'd be able to use a guard. Um, the Nets could use another guard because they're forward heavy. It might be a place for him to go, but
Yeah.
I mean, what kind of drugs was he doing? Is he okay? Is that something you got to worry about now? I don't know. I don't know. I would keep my eye on it though, and good luck to him. I'm glad that he did come back because he's a really good basketball player. At least he was. And drugs are coming back from anything that's addictive is tough. So more power to him. Speaking of the Chicago Bulls, DeMar DeRozan is not going to win the MVP, but he should. He has just matched Wilt Chamberlain with this streak. Listen to this. No player has scored 35 or more points on 50% or better shooting in 6 straight games since Wilt Chamberlain. And nobody did it before Wilt Chamberlain did it. DeMar DeRozan is on a tear right now. It's easily the best season of his career. The veteran scorer is averaging 28 points per game since joining the Bulls, and he'll be starting Sunday's All Star game in Cleveland, thanks in large part to that shot making. By the way, he scored 40 something points last night, 40 points, I believe. Didn't shoot a three. Not
He's dragging
one
the game
three.
back.
Not one. Yeah. His game is inside, period. He can shoot a three easily, but he's been doing stuff this year I haven't seen him do since he was with Toronto in his like second year. DeMar DeRozan is murdering people. He is really, and he has availed himself to the fans here in Chicago. It is a joy to watch him play. He is the most professional basketball player I've seen here in a long time, and he's making everybody around him better. But last night against San Antonio was it was a video game. He wasn't even like it was like he was playing in the gym by himself. It was a thing of beauty.
Whew.
Um, he scored 4 points on 16 to 24 shooting on Monday.
Jeez.
That was the sixth in a row in which he did not only where he not only scored 35 or more points, but did so on 50% shooting. Will Chamberlain did it in the 60-61 season and did it again in 1963. It's the 60s. I wasn't even born when this was happening. This is crazy. Unbelievable. He scored 19 points in the fourth quarter. And he it is crazy. Wilt, on a purely statistical basis, is the best scorer in NBA history. He scored 100 points in a game and averaged 50 across a season. DeRozan won't ever do that. And he's been overlooked for most of his career because of struggles in the playoffs and struggles behind the 3 point line. But topping Chamberlain in this one would put his career year into the record books. This is the best basketball and I've seen a lot of basketball in Chicago, Illinois. Easily, this is the best basketball since the Jordan years, and maybe even better on a shooting level than that. This is incredible, incredible stuff. It does not happen often. If you're a fan of basketball, or especially if you're a fan of the Chicago Bulls, you should pay close attention, man. This dude is changing every aspect of the game. It is a beautiful thing to watch.
Hmm.
Um, Remember a couple of weeks ago when Brian Flores wanted to sue the NFL, and everybody was like, "Oh man, the Super Bowl is next week," and people were like, "So, yeah, well, it's still happening." And Brian's lawsuit is still in the air. Dolphins, the owner of the Dolphins, Stephen Ross, could lose his team if tanking allegations prove to be true.
Oh,
There
whoa.
could be an ownership, yeah, could be an ownership change in Minnesota. That would be great because I hate them too. Could be an ownership change in Miami with Super Bowl 56 now in the rear view. The NFL has nothing. I do, man. I'm a Bears fan.
I gotta ask you something. I'm sorry, I gotta ask you something. I got a Chicago roommate. He's a wonderful guy. He's my biggest sports friend at this house I live in, and we've been
Hmm.
huge on this bull season. Oh man, it's
Yes,
been great.
yes.
And football season was going on. We were watching Bears games, more Bears games than I've ever watched in a season. And,
Hmm.
and
Is your
what I
friend
picked,
okay? Because the Bears suck. Is he all right? I
he's
love
a,
the
he's
Bears.
he says he's used to it at this point. He said he's
Yeah,
used to it
it's
at this
yeah.
point.
You get used to it.
But this bull season is keeping the spirits up. But
Hmm.
what was interesting was, like, I'm a Raider fan. I'm from the Bay Area. That's like, even still, my heart lies there. But
Oh, that's
the
fair.
seemingly, like, just baseline, doesn't matter who, what, where, when, no matter what's going
I know
on.
what you're gonna say too. Go
This
on.
dude hates the Packers.
Yeah, man. Screw them. That's it. Screw them. I don't like that dog faced creep. That's their quarterback. Those stupid colors and none of it. I think they
And
have.
like,
I think they have one of the best stadiums in the world. But screw that stadium too. They should play more games in Milwaukee. Stupid Packers. Can't stand them.
I
Can't
love
stand.
it.
Can't stand them. I can't stand them.
Yeah.
When Dogface Man won the MVP a couple nights ago on ESPN, he had on his suit made out of mustard. I'm like, what the hell is this? What is this? Is this a tribute to Bratwurst? You freak! Can't stand the Packers. Sorry,
Oh, no, it's
I'm
all
not one
right.
of those. I'm not one of those. The Bears only need to win 2 games a season, people. I think they need to win their division though, and the Packers are in the damn way. I can't stand the
Mhm.
Packers. Here's the funny thing: I love the state of Wisconsin. It is one
Really?
of the most beautiful states in the union. It's beautiful when the leaves turn, my friend. Go to Wisconsin, man. It is beautiful. I love people from Milwaukee. Everything else, they'll screw you. All of it. Can't stand it.
Oh man.
Yeah, yeah, that's an easy one. If you were looking for me to go, oh, well, no, man, this is not satellite radio, so I can't say what I want. But you
Yeah.
can, in my head, you hear me saying it.
I feel it. I feel
The
it. I feel the heat.
stupid Packers.
And I hear it. I hear it in my own home. I can just replay conversations.
Oh, the Packers. Whatever, man. I wish that they would just turn that franchise into a Dairy Queen. That's what they should do. Make it a big ass Dairy Queen. People all over the Midwest could go and get a nice cone. You know, can't stand them, man. I really can't. Oh, you got my blood boiling. Gliss
Sorry,
thinks
sorry.
this is funny too, because whenever I talk about, I can't even call him by his given name. I call him Dogface Man because he looks so sad. Like, oh, man, nobody wants to talk to me because I didn't get vaccinated. Oh, shut up, shut up.
It's getting
Okay,
worse with age too. Every passing year, this guy looks more and more like Droopy Dog.
he looks like thank you. It looks like he is really having a hard time being wealthy. Like, I hate people like that.
Yeah.
I'd rather you act broke than look sad because you're oh, you jerk. Okay, where was I? Thank you, though. No. I appreciate you asking me that question because I could talk about Dogface Man and those freaks all day. But the league is looking into taking the franchise away from the Dolphins if the allegations that Brian Flores said of them tanking are true. And I can say this with great certainty: if they do that, which they probably should, they need to investigate every owner in the NFL because I am quite sure. Well, with the exception of the teams that do well all the time, that tanking is a real thing, and it is owners who say, "Hey, look, we will just lose. Put in your worst guys, and let's just lose, so I can recoup this money and buy a new team, or we get the number one pick so we can get a quarterback." Now, I truly believe the Dolphins did it. It'd be nice if the Packers were involved in some kind of controversy. Can't stand
And
it.
they'd have to take the team away from everybody who lives there.
Well, you see, that's the other thing. That's a ruse that the people own. Hey, man, we own it, man. I'm an owner. No, you're not. You're not an owner. You're not. You're part of a Ponzi scheme, is what you are. It's a Ponzi scheme in the Green Bay Packer world. Now, here's a funny thing. A really good friend of mine that I grew up with played for the Packers many years ago.
Mm-hmm.
His name's Walter Stanley. Scored a touchdown against the Bears at Old Soldier Field. And I almost cried because I was like, I can't believe this dude plays for the Packers. And then I'm like, I can't believe he just scored a touchdown against the Bears. And he showed me his not Hall of Fame ring, his alumni ring. Travis, it was the biggest ring I've ever seen on a man's hand in my life. It was like a knuckle, like a hand on top of his hand. It was humongous. He only played 3 years. And the NFL is the job to get if you can get it.
Yeah, they're big on. I mean, maybe not the medical benefits, but at least the hardware.
Yeah, the ring is awesome. All right, you know what? That's it for sports, but we're not going anywhere yet. Because now that I'm all fired about the stupid Packers, let me see. Now you got something to tell your roommate tonight. Like, this dude really hates the Packers. I thought you were bad. Yeah. He hates them. Some on this day stuff and some birthdays. On this day in 1804, I was not alive. New Jersey became the last northern state to abolish slavery. Also, in a year I wasn't born, in 1965, Canada unveils its new flag with a maple leaf design in Ottawa. I didn't know that flag is only 56 years old. Huh. How about that? In 1997, Tara Lipinski upset Michelle Kwan. Do you guys remember that? At the U.S. Figure Skating Championships in Nashville, becoming the youngest gold medalist at the Nationals. And in 2004, do you guys remember this? Dale Earnhardt Jr. wins the Daytona 500 on the same track where his father was killed 3 years earlier. Birthdays today, Matt Groening, The Simpsons, and one of the greatest cartoons ever that gets no props, Life in Hell, is 68 today. And Chris Farley would have been 58 years old today. I remember the day that he passed away here in Chicago. The only other time I can remember being sad about being that sad was when John Belushi died. There was an overwhelming sense of like, damn, this dude was on his way, but drugs totally got in his way, man. Rest in peace, Chris Farley, really funny dude, and he also hated the Packers. Singer Brandon Boyd from the group Incubus turned 46 today. Hold the Line by Toto. Oh, Hold the Line. It's certified gold. Phil Collins' album No Jacket Required is released in 1985. Hold the Line in 1979. Hey, Travis, do you know the story behind the album No Jacket Required by Phil Collins?
No.
Here in Chicago, he went to the Pump Room to get a meal. I guess Genesis was touring in Chicago, and he was refused service at the Pump Room because he had to wear a suit coat, a blazer. And that's why the album is called No Jacket Required.
Oh, no kidding.
Yes, I'm telling you, man. I'm not making it up.
That's fun. Like
and country great Waylon Jennings is laid to rest in 2002 following a private graveside service in Mesa, Arizona. And I can honestly say I forgot that Waylon Jennings wasn't alive anymore because I can still hear the Dukes of Hazzard song in my head. And that's it. That's sports and other stuff. We come back. We'll bring you one more thing to take you out for the rest of the evening, something for you to think about, a story that's not as heavy as the ones that we talked about and nothing to do with Dogface Man because he's a creep. We'll be back with that. Sorry, Travis. We'll be back with The Drive here on Backchannel.tv in just a moment. We'll also say hi to our passengers, too, before we leave. Be back in just a moment. Welcome back to the Drive with Mario Smith as I push my glasses on my face here on Backchannel.tv. Let's say hi to everybody. Yannick, Matthew, Nora says yes and hello. Gabe, it's his first time on the stream. Mike, Belinda, and Matthew, and all the other folks, we appreciate you being here today. Gliss, my man, enjoy your trip, brother. And yes, Dave Chappelle would have been cool. Uh, Sorry that didn't happen. And I'm still looking at this message from Travis's mom, and the t-shirts are coming. I love Mario. Sorry, not in that way. We're working on those post haste. Here's something front of mind: a boat that was launched by students here in the United. Excuse me, by students here in the United. It's this. This is what did it. It's blueberry pomegranate palm. I apologize. That was rude. I got to get back to serious. Stop doing that. A boat that was launched by students here in the United States has landed in Norway. A small boat launched in October 2020 by some New Hampshire middle school students and containing photos, fall leaves, acorns, and stay quarters has been found 462 days later by a sixth grader in Norway. The 6 foot long rye riptides, decorated with artwork from the kids and equipped with a tracking device that went silent for parts of the journey, was found February 1st in Smola, a small island near Dyrnes, Norway, the Portsmouth Herald reported on Monday. It had lost its hull and keel on the 8,300-mile journey and was covered in gooseneck barnacles, but the deck and cargo hold were still intact. The student who found it, Karel Nusic, took the boat to his school, and he and his classmates eagerly opened it last week. The school in Norway plans a call with the Rye Junior High students soon. When you're sending it out, you have no idea where it's going to end up, how it's going to get there, if it ends up anywhere at all, said Cassie Steinist, executive director of Educational Passages, a Maine nonprofit that began working with the school on the project in 2018. But these kids, they put their hopes and dreams and wishes into it, and I tend to think sometimes that helps. The students set the boat out into the Atlantic Ocean and followed its path. They dealt with the retirement of their teacher, Sheila Adams, and long periods when its GPS went quiet. The boat came back online during hurricane season, registering plot points in August and September around the same latitude as Ireland. Then it vanished again. On January 30th, they learned the boat had appeared to hit land just west of a small island in Norway. I was surprised the boat actually made it somewhere, seventh grader Molly Flynn said. I thought it was going to get stuck in some middle spot on the map, and it actually made it, and it was really, really cool and surprising. How about that? That's not bad. Not to suggest that you should have your kids put boats in the ocean, but you never know. Some ingenuity behind that. That was pretty cool. In the time that we have left, again, I want to thank everybody that's been watching on backchannel.tv. Please leave a review of the show on backchannel.tv. Also, you can watch us on YouTube because that's a thing. And you can chat in the YouTube chat there. And to the folks who've been with us, this is episode 22. And I know my man Gliss isn't here, and I would really prefer for him to be here while I'm saying this. Thank you guys for watching, not just this show, but watching Back Channel. It means a lot to all of us, and it is very important to us. And we absolutely dig having conversations with you. And we invite you to the chat and things like that so you can get involved and be part of the show. This is for you more than it is for anybody else. It's for you. So make sure that you do that. Feel free to get into the chat and join us. And let's have these conversations and things of that nature. Travis, got a few minutes left, man. Thank you so much for hooking me up today. I really appreciate it.
My absolute, sincere, genuine pleasure. This was a blast.
Yeah, not bad. It's okay. Our little show is good, man. Me and Gliss are trying to build something. It's okay. It's no my pal Hal. That's the
yeah.
There's
a lot less fumbling over screen shares. I think it honestly comes out a better product. Yeah, the fact that you guys have got everything running this smoothly 20 episodes in. Not that I'm a back channel expert or anything, but as a somewhat seasoned veteran of 50-ish shows at this point, you guys are coming out of the gate extremely strong, in my opinion.
The biggest part of this was that the back channel folks were like, "Do it," and we're like, "Okay,
Yeah.
cool, all
Yeah,
right."
exactly.
It was like, "What do you want to do?" And we told them, they're like, "Do it." I'm like, "Oh,
Sounds good.
word." I mean, I kept saying to my friends, like, they want me to just talk in front of the camera and do stuff that I normally do, and I'm like, "I'll do it." So I'm very I'm humbled and I'm honored and all that to be here. I don't know why I'm feeling like I should pour out gratitude and stuff right now at this moment. I just feel I should say those things because it's important, man. We all are we are all post COVID, and
Yeah.
it's been rough. It has not been the easiest time for anybody.
Hmm.
But the fact that we are able to have these conversations and talk about these crazy things that are happening around the world, even about that stupid dog face, man, the fact that we can have these conversations um, are really, it's really cool. And thank you, Gary, for the kind words. Appreciate that. He said, great show as always. And thanks again, man. I know oh, no, you know what? I still have more stuff to say.
Oh,
I
all
got
right.
I got 3 minutes. It's not over yet
Yeah, let's
because
do
I
it.
don't want to say goodbye to you officially because it's a whole thing that I do. It's part of my clothes.
Right.
Whatever. I got to get out to LA and see you soon. I hope this isn't the last time I see you, man.
Oh yeah, no, I'm right by the airport. Park your car. It'll be great.
That's perfect because I don't know where
Yeah.
I'm going. My sister lives in Beverly Hills, though.
Oh, right on.
My
Right on.
sister danced on Soul Train for 12 years.
Really?
Yeah, so
That's sick.
yeah, it's I told her I'm writing a book that's called I'm the brother of a Soul Train dancer. I haven't started writing it yet, but I absolutely am writing it. And she's friends with like everybody, like everybody. When she
That's
would come to
tight.
town, Eddie Murphy would call our house. I was like, "What?" Eric Dickerson, Magic. It's
Whoa.
wild. It's
Whoa.
but of course, I couldn't answer the phone because
Right.
she would have never got the phone back. Did you know, Travis, that hula hoops are banned in Indonesia for stimulating passion?
Whoa. I did not.
Did you know that 5 U.S. capital cities have no interstate highways? They are Juneau, Alaska,
All
Dover,
right.
Delaware, Jefferson City,
Oh,
Missouri, Carson City, Nevada, and Pierre, South Dakota.
dang. What's taking them so long? All right.
Did you know a recent study says that if you can't stand your neighbor, you are more likely to have a heart attack?
All right. I'm worried for you now. Now I'm
Uh-uh.
worried for you.
They don't like me. I love them.
Oh, all right. Cool.
I don't have a problem. The neighbors to the north, the stupid Packers.
Yeah.
It takes the average person 8 seconds to answer the phone.
Or you 1.5 if it's your sister's house.
Man, on it. Or if it's my phone, I'll answer. If you call, I'm hello. Half of us haven't changed our voicemail message in 3 or more years. I know that to be a fact.
Yep.
I have a friend
Guilty.
that's had his message up for at least 20 years. Not joking. Same phone number, everything. And the drip trays that catch runoff liquid in coffee makers are host to a wide range of potentially pathogenic bacteria, a study shows.
Yeah.
And finally, this is it. Recently, German artist Nicholas Costello placed a 410-pound gold cube valued at $11.7 million dollars in Central Park, most likely as a marketing for the launch of his new cryptocurrency called Costello Coin. When the artist removed it, Velveeta decided to put an 8-foot box of liquid gold in its place. The company tweeted liquid gold cube greater than solid gold cube. The following day, the box was gone, and Velveeta tweeted, missing one giant Velveeta box, colored gold, height 8 feet, taste cheesy heaven. Last seen, Central Park, New York, reward year's supply of shells and cheese. The company says the theft is not a joke, but has jokingly named the heist Ocean's 11. That's it.
Good for them.
That's it for me. That's all the stories I got. Travis, thank you so much, man, for being with me today. I truly appreciate it, brother.
Of course, man. Anytime.
Thank you. And as the sun sets in Chicago, Illinois, for all our friends watching here on backchannel.tv, YouTube, and on the Amazon supported devices, and for all our friends here at Backchannel, we wish you a great, great evening. Enjoy yourselves. We'll see you tomorrow at 4 Eastern Time. You can start back with us at 6 a.m. Eastern for more backchannel.tv. Good night.